Alright y'all, here's a quick tutorial on how to use a box call. This particular call is a Rhodes Custom Calls. I like it, it's a short box, it gets loud, I like the pitch of it. These box calls are real good locator calls, especially are great for a windy day because they can really reach out there. Or if you're somewhere like I am right now and it's super dense, it works great just to get their attention. One thing you want to notice, as you can see how I've got all this blue down here and blue right there on the rims. That's just chalk. You want to be sure you actually get call chalk. You don't want something that's going to be real waxy because that's going to cause the call to slip. Something like you'd write on chalkboard or on concrete when you're playing around outside or something, that is not going to work. You want to get actual call chalk. It's just a little bit different. I believe it's rosin based opposed to wax based. So it's going to make it where the call will not slip. It'll bite a little bit better, making you have that sound. So before you call, run it along your soundboards. Flip that call over. You can see mine's pretty wore out. I'm just going to give it a couple extra licks real quick. Cover that up real quick, a little bit. You can see I've mostly covered that bottom. I'm good to go. That's something I would keep with you at all times. I keep it in my vest in the base of my box call pouch. Box call is one of the easier calls to use. Great beginner call because all you do is it's already tuned to itself. That's just your basic yelp. When you come over the top of the box, it's going to muffle that sound and it gives it that lower pitch drop. Great thing about box call is you have two calls, you have two sides. That's your basic yelp. For the cut, you can do something similar. Oh, knock my water over. I'm back. You can just do shorts. Something else you can do, you can use your finger or your thumb. Kind of stick it in there and let it bounce off your thumb. Try and get where y'all can see that. It's going to be your cluck. For a purr, you're just going to do the same thing as a yelp, but drag it across very slowly. Now the way you want to hold this call, you can see it's got a rim down here at the base. You want to hold that rim. Whenever you touch these soundboards, it'll either screw up, depending on what call it is, it'll screw up the sound of it, or it'll dampen it. So that if it's the only thing you're using, only sound he's answering to, but you want to soften that sound down so he'll come in, put your hand on the side. That's going to just quiet it down just enough where he might think you're walking away and he can come in. Sorry, mosquitoes are after me. One good thing about this is it's easy to gobble on. If you have a rubber band, it makes it real easy. You can put that rubber band around the top up here and just shake it back and forth like a gobble wobble. Or hold it like this. And it's going to sound like a turkey gobbling. Not the most beautiful gobble, but he may just think it's a Jake gobbling and that long beard will come on into you. Only bad thing about these is when you're walking through the woods, if you don't have something to separate them, they will squeak. They'll bump together like that and make a little squeak. So one of the good things to do is take a piece of wool or cotton. You can actually rub this chalk on it, set it inside there, close it down, and then wrap it in a rubber band. That cloth will keep it from squeaking, and since you already have chalk on there, it constantly reseasons and gets that call ready to go for your next hunt. That way you pull it out, you don't have to worry about all the chalk being worn off and that call just sounding terrible. So we can put it all together, see what it sounds like. You never know, those calls might be just enough to get him to break off that strut and come into you and make it out, close up the distance he needs to get out of range, or at least let you know where he's at. But both this and a mouth call are both real simple to be able to get two different sounds on, so that way you can sound like a whole flock of hens. Hope this helps.